Okay, this is the Udi Reco product. This is a unique type of wood fibre board that is now available on the market. It consists of two different products basically glued together to form one board. So this board is designed to go onto uneven surfaces, and most buildings that are around, certainly around in the southwest, are uneven. You look at the front of them, we've got 40,000 cob buildings in the southwest, many hundreds of thousands of stone buildings in the southwest, and a very flat, rigid insulation board doesn't fit terribly well to the front of them. And this is where this product comes in. The idea of the Reco product is, as you can see, pressing that board against the wall here, you can see there's quite a big gap behind the insulation board. So if we were using that board up against this wall, you'd end up with lots of voids behind it. Using this board, if you press that against it, the soft backing moulds itself to the shape of the wall, and so you've got no voids behind it and no extra heat loss that you mightn't be considering. So the board fits very snugly against the wall and gives you a nice tight fit. The other advantage of this board is that because you can vary the thickness slightly, you can actually level up uneven walls. So if you do have an uneven wall that you want to straighten out, you can actually adjust these fixings. These are the fixings. You can adjust them to suit the shape of the wall. You can either create a flat wall or you can create a wall with undulations depending on what you want it to look like. Okay, now the installation process is very simple. Although I don't have it with me, we use a laser system to create a very flat surface. So you set up a laser, vertical laser, which creates a vertical plane in front of the wall. The board is screwed back to the wall. So the board is pushed up against the wall and screwed back with these fixings, as you can see here. And all the boards are put up against the wall. And then using the special laser system, you simply adjust the depth of the screws so that the front surface of the board is flat. It's very, very simple to do. Once the board, all the boards are on and levelled, then you put a base coat render on there. Now that's a lime base coat with a fiberglass mesh in it, which reinforces it and makes sure it's robust enough to do what it needs to do. But because it's a lime-based product, it's still very, very breathable. And wood fibre is inherently breathable and very, very good at actually drawing moisture out of a building. Once that base coat is dried, it's normally left for around about 5 days before it's primed, and then the finish coat is applied. These systems tend to use a rather more modern finish than some other systems. The system that goes, or the render that goes on the surface, is a self-coloured material, but it's actually a type of polymer rather than a lime-based material. Now, a lot of people would think that that is then not very breathable, but actually it is a very breathable material, but it has the advantage of being very flexible as well as being breathable. So that allows you to have a very durable system that can be used in areas such as the plinth, which is down there, but also over the rest of the wall. So there is no need to change from one type of render to another at the plinth area. From normally 300mm down, you actually use polystyrene. Now again, a lot of people would think that's not terribly green, but down at ground level you've got to switch over to synthetic material simply because if there's any damage or if you get moisture rising up the wall, that will actually begin to rot the wood fibre. So to create a very robust system, you switch over to a synthetic material at the bottom, but you render over the whole lot, as you can see here, so it looks, once it's finished, a continuous system. Around the window areas, again, it's another area that people consider and not necessarily obvious how you actually deal with it. The boards finish flush with the edge of the window reveal, so this board would finish somewhere around there. And then a 20mm board is actually glued within the reveal to create a continuous wood fibre surface and prevent any thermal bridging around the actual window reveal. The window sill that is fixed to the window can either be placed underneath it, which is what we've done here, or can actually be screwed right onto the front of the existing sill. The sills that we supply basically have this type of profile, which is an extruded aluminium profile. Then an end cap is put on the end to give it a bit more strength to prevent the ends from flopping essentially, and essentially to make it look better as well. They've got very good weather detailing and prevent any rainwater from actually penetrating into the system. This is the type of bead that goes around the windows. It's a special bead called an APU bead, or an APU rail, and simply it's got a self-adhesive surface on one side which actually sticks to the front of the window and gives you a very good weather-tight seal. This mesh is then bedded into the render, and you render right up to the edge, there is actually a snap-off section there that you pull off and to give you a very, very sharp edge to it, as can be seen in this window. So overall, wood fibre is a very, very useful material to use, particularly on traditional buildings. It's very good at dealing with moisture. It prevents any build-up of moisture in the building. It will actually help dry out a building if it is damp when you apply this sort of material. It's made from a very sustainable source. The material comes from waste timber in the European timber industry, and it's ground up and turned into various forms of insulation. So a very green source. It's all waste timber. Overall, it gives you a very breathable system, very robust, keeps the weather out but allows moisture from the building to come out, and gives you many years of service. So this is the Udi Reco product from a company called unger-diffutherm. We sell a lot of other wood fibre systems from that company for all sorts of different scenarios. So rigid boards for walls, for roofs, boards and systems for the interior of a building. All are very ecological, very green, made from sustainable materials, and again designed to work around traditional buildings.